Every bootmaker has their own last. It's unique to that boot company, and Altberg is no exception. And this is the first Altberg last. It's in wood. This is the model. And when Altberg first started back in 1989, after the old shoe factory that we all worked in across the road shut down, and that's when Altberg started, and this is the first last. And it's a good average hiking boot last. The heel, as you can see, is an average heel. It's not an extreme heel, it's average. The waist is the same. The volume is the average volume. It is a genuine medium size 8 UK fitting. And the length is a UK length. The spring, the toe spring, it's the roll. We call it, it's this roll. It's an average. It's not exaggerated high, it's not flat. It's an average roll. But what quickly became clear was that a lot of people coming to us, it was because they didn't have a medium foot. Their feet were wide or narrow, and they had difficulty getting boots to fit them. I realized that we should make this last in 5 width fittings, which is what I did. I moved to take this last and to grow it into its width fittings, the English system of width fitting. So it's volume. So here we have the medium, here we have the wide, the extra wide, the narrow, the extra narrow. I think you can see between these two the difference when you see the grading. It's all about the volume. It's not just linear, it's a volume measurement. We started making the boots in these width fittings, and quickly people began to realize that they had a choice. And that was the beginning of the Altberg Boot Company. And this was the first 5 width fittings lasts that were offered, as far as I know, that were offered anywhere in the outdoor industry. But the other problem I had was measuring feet, because in 1989 you couldn't get any measuring devices. None of the outdoor shops measured feet. They would say, try a boot on, stick your finger down the back, and for a lot of people that worked fine. But I knew from what we were seeing in our factory shop that for a lot of people it didn't work fine, and that's where this came from. So I made my first measuring device. This is it here. It's been superseded nowadays by a Brannock device, but this is my first measuring device, and I actually used the heel from the back of a boot to put the heel of the foot into, and so that would be like that, and then the person would put the heel in the back and we'd measure it down, and that would give us the length, and then we would measure around here with the tape, and then we'd compare the measurements with this chart here, and that would tell us approximately in what area the customer should be to get a good fitting. And it was by giving the customer that choice that we could enable a better fitting. They do say that if you can get through the first 10 years, then you're up and running, and this last is the last that got Altberg and me through the first 10 years. When I first started making footwear back in 1969, there was over 400 shoe factories in this country. By 1989, when the old shoe factory we all worked in closed, there was probably 20 left. It wasn't the best of times to start up a new footwear business, but we did, and this last got us through. So I have a very special place in my heart for this last.